This lecture is about Bada's media namespace. In this lecture, the application settings and privileges will be explained, and then the image encoding and decoding, audio and video playback, audio recorder, still image capture, video capture, and audio in and audio out functions will all be covered. First of all, I'll talk in more detail about the manifest that was briefly covered in the last lecture. Until now, the default manifest has been used in these lectures. Although the default manifest can be used to quickly create an application, you cannot sell applications created with the default manifest on the Samsung Apps site. Therefore, you have to create a custom manifest. You can create a custom manifest through the web, developer.bada.com website, and use it by downloading and integrating it into the project. Now, let's briefly look at how you can create a custom manifest. If you select Create Manifest instead of Default Manifest in the application template, Internet Explorer is launched and is directed to the developer.bada.com website. You have to first log into the website. After logging in, click the Generate a New Application Profile button in the My Applications tab. Then you have to specify whether it's a new application or an updated application according to your needs. After that, you have to set the version number. The version number consists of major, minor, and build numbers. Next, set the name of the application and write a description. An application name can be between 4 to 20 alphanumeric characters and the special characters like dash and underscore. Next, I'll introduce the privilege level and the privilege group. A Bada developer has a privilege level. Generally, if you have signed up with the Bada developer site online, you have the normal privilege level. Some developers receive the system privilege level from the Bada management group, but most developers are at the normal privilege level. Next, I'll explain a privilege group. A privilege group refers to a set of related Bada APIs, which can be selectively used by developers. To use this kind of API, you need to have the privilege to use the API. The privilege information is saved in the manifest. If you create an application with these privileged APIs and sell it on Samsung Apps, authentication may be required in the future. You can easily select a privileged API group. You just need to select the checkbox of the privileged API group which the privileged API belongs to. Then the components are installed. These components include profile management to save the application information in the database of the Bada server, configuration management to save content in the category on the server, and workspace management that relates to external storage services such as Amazon S3 or CloudFront. Finally, you have to select the Bada devices the application supports. You can select the API version, CPU, 3D accelerator, screen size, connectivity, sensor, and user interaction device functions of the device. After creating a manifest and pressing the download button, you can download the manifest. Now, let's see how we can add the manifest to the project. The first thing to do is to find the location of the actual project. In general, the project folder is created by default in the Drive C-Bada, Bada API version number, IDE, workspace folder, unless you've changed this setting. Find the project folder, rename the downloaded manifest file to manifest.xml, and put the file in the folder, replacing the default manifest with the downloaded one. The thing you have to remember here is that you must not directly modify the manifest.xml file. This is the most common reason for the rejection of applications on Samsung Apps. Now let's have a look at the media namespace. First, let's look at the classes and functions in the media namespace. To begin with, the image class is the class that performs image encoding and decoding. The player class supports the playback of media files, such as video or audio files. The player class also provides various functions to play media files so that you can easily create a simple media player. The audio recorder and video recorder functions enable you to save audio from the microphone and video from the camera in a standard file format. The audio in or out functions provide functions to capture and play back sound on the raw level. Now, let's have a look at image encoding and decoding. Encoding and decoding images is performed using the OSP Media Image class. The functions in this image class belong to the image privilege group. Therefore, to use the functions in this image class, the image privilege group must have been selected in the manifest. The decoding formats supported by the image class are JPEG, GIF, PNG, BMP, TIFF, and WBMP. The supporting encoding formats are JPEG, PNG, and BMP only. To decode an image, use the decode N function of the image class. If you specify the file path or buffer and call the decode N function, the decoded image is returned in the bitmap pointer type. Alternatively, you can directly decode an image by specifying the URI. For more information about decoding images and using bitmap images, refer to the graphics part of the lecture. Finally, let's have a look at how to encode an image. To encode an image, you can use the encode to buffer or encode to file functions of the image class. If you specify the bitmap image to be encoded and the image format when you call the encode to buffer function, the encoded buffer will be returned. The encode to file function converts the bitmap image to an encoded image and returns the encoded file if the necessary information, including the bitmap, image format, and file path, is given. In this case, the supported image formats are image_format_JPEG, image_format_PNG, and image_format_GIF. There is a function provided that converts an image file to a JPEG file without converting it to a bitmap file. The compress JPEG N function returns a JPEG file smaller than the specified size limit if the source image path, target image path, and size limit are input. This conversion function can be used to create a thumbnail when an application such as a photo viewer needs to create thumbnails.